What is up, guys? Because of all the new crafting materials that they introduced in the game, I figured I would just show you guys how to craft this insane focus. And this is primarily going to be for ED Contagion players. But at the same time, virtually every caster build is going to be kind of going along the same process, plus or minus, any number of a few steps. So what we want here is high spell damage, high chaos damage, plus 3 skills, cast speed, and then the plus number of summon totems. The crit damage bonus is kind of wasted on us because we don't really crit because we're playing ED Contagion. Even without that, even if you consider that a completely dead stat, we still have pretty much everything we want. Pretty much 193 combined spell damage or combined chaos damage. We have an additional totem summoned. If you look here, we don't have overabundance in our Dark Effigy. So we should only be able to spawn 1 totem, but we can actually spawn 2. This is very, very nice. It's a huge DPS increase without having to have the reduced duration of the overabundance. And essentially it gives us a 7.5 link. We have the value of the 7th link of overabundance, but at the same time, we don't have the downside of the minus 40% duration, which is pretty significant. It only lasts maybe 5 seconds, which is really annoying to have to recast your totems and stuff like that when you're fighting a boss, because not only are you gonna have to cast totems, but you're gonna have to cast your Contagion, you're gonna have to cast your ED, you're gonna have to cast your spell, and then you're also going to have to wither them with your Chaos Bolt. And then on top of that, you can even throw in a Firewall, give your totems the additional fire damage, which you can theoretically convert into chaos damage using the Black Flame Covenant ability if you want to. I was doing that earlier in the league, but not so much anymore. So how do we craft this? There are 2 ways that you want to go about crafting this. All right, number 1 is you just pick up every single focus that you can get, right? Every single white focus, and then you utilize these currencies here. Perfect Augment, Perfect Transmute, okay? You are looking to hit one thing in particular, and that one thing is chaos damage, a high roll of chaos damage. You're probably gonna want like 80 or more. This is very easy to do because this shit is absolutely fucking broken. Let me show you. So if we go to POE2 DB, we can see all of the modifiers and all the weightings for the modifiers for focuses. Ultimately, what happens is like, take this mana roll, for example, right? This takes up literally 20% of the rolls because it's 11,000 weighting out of 51k. With the Perfect Transmute and the Perfect Augment, it essentially means you can only roll a minimum of modifiers that have an eye level of 70 or higher, right? So that means these 10 stats literally cannot roll anymore. You can only roll this one stat. So this 21% chance of hitting mana now goes down to like a 2% chance, right? And then max ES as well. A 19% chance goes to a 2%. Percentage energy shield, 0%. This hybrid combo, only 2% again. So then we're left with this insanely high chance of hitting a percentage elemental or percentage chaos damage, of which we probably only want percentage chaos, but there's an argument to be made that you could perhaps do one of these other ones if you are playing a different kind of elemental build. So that is how I would recommend that you go about this for sure, because then you can get some insane chaos damage rolls, because when you do hit chaos damage, you are going to either be hitting tier 2 or tier 1, and these are very, very high numbers. And it's really easy to do. You just pick up white bases, and then you just use your transmutes and your augments on them, okay? Transmutes and augments are 4 Exalt each, and I'm pretty sure transmutes are like 1 Exalt each. Let me double check that. Yeah, they're like one Exalt for a transmute, okay? It's incredibly cheap to do this, okay? Just go into your filter, highlight all the bases. And do you care about the base type at all? Let me show you. This is Cultist base. It has a base energy shield of 49. The highest tier base you can get, Talisman Focus, is 68. This is 19 ES difference. We don't care. So you can pick any base you want. You can even take a Twig Focus, right? You lose 50 ES, but it doesn't really matter. So what I just went over is how you hit the chaos damage. That's if you want to like self-farm it, and I would recommend that you do this because it's like those focuses that you're not picking up anyways, and you might well just spend like 1 or 2 Exalts on average to see if you can fish for that high tier chaos roll. But now that you actually have the chaos roll, what do? Well, that brings me into kind of my second point, which is you can actually just try and trade for the chaos roll yourself. You plug an eye level 70 here, and then you also want it to be a magic focus. This is incredibly important, okay? This is perfectly acceptable. This one could definitely work, okay? And boom. So 30C, that's quite a lot of money. That's like actually close to a div, I would say. But you'll easily be able to make back the div that you spent on this very, very quickly. What are we actually doing here? If you're crafting this yourself and you hit the chaos damage, you're going to want to make sure you perfect augment to get the second roll. Okay? If you are lucky there's a very high chance that you're going to roll the cast speed next. Because, like I said, so many of these stats are being removed, right? Like, look here. You literally can't not even roll chaos damage. Because, and this is actually a point to make that, like, why it's probably even better to have an exactly eye level 70 base. Because if you do, you cannot roll this highest tier chaos res. You cannot roll this highest tier cold res. You cannot roll this highest tier lightning res, right? You cannot roll this highest tier int. And then you can't roll any of these other int rolls either. You cannot roll any of these other chaos rolls, and you can only roll one of these cold rolls, right? Same thing with mana regen. You can't roll any mana regen at all, and you can't roll any crit spell damage bonus. So what ends up happening is you have insanely high chance of augmenting on tier 1 cast speed, which is exactly what I did here. But unfortunately, this base is eye level 80, so we kind of have like a few other rolls, and the suffix is already on there, but I'm just kind of trying to explain to you kind of the process and also the niche situations where actually having a lower eye level is beneficial. Anyways, from here, we can deterministically craft a very, very nice focus. If you guys didn't know, with the introduction or the rework of essences, there are now essences that will grant you deterministic rolls. So before, if you wanted to roll cast speed, you would roll the caster mod or the speed mod, and then it would give you any prefix or suffix with the exact tag on it. So for example, cast speed here, speed. But now we have a way to guarantee get what we want. And that's with the new essences. So if you look here, Greater Essence of Sorcery guarantee gives you 75 to 89% spell damage. And how much does it cost? It costs 1 Exalt. Let's just go ahead and do it. Boom, 81% spell damage. Literally a mid-roll, like pretty much on the dot, okay? So we have a really, really good focus here already. The next thing we need to do is we want to add on Desecrated Prefix. We do that by using a Preserved Rib. These things only cost like 6 Exalts. What this does is essentially to pick between one of 3 affixes, all right? Some of them are abyssal mods. In this case, you see here that tier 1 spell skills have +1 maximum number of summon totems. That is in green. That means it's an abyssal mod. And not only that, but it's a unique abyssal mod that you can only get from Abyss currency. But in order to do this, in order to guarantee that we have the prefix, we can do 2 things. We can either use this Sinistral Omen of Necromancy, which just makes it so that the Desecration, which is this thing, guarantee does the prefix. So now all we really need to do is activate it like any other omen. When we use our Preserved Rib to desecrate it, it will guarantee be a prefix now. So now what we do is we just slam 2 Exalts. Greater Exalts, if you look at it, they're only like 17x, which is what, like a 1/6 of a divine? I would say it's totally acceptable here to use a Greater Exalt for only 17 Exalts. We were able to absolutely just remove a ton of mods that we don't want. We don't want low crit, we don't want low cast speed, and even then we only remove 2 cast speed mods. But then like, look, we remove 3 ints, we remove some chaos res, but it just feels like such good value. I'm gonna do it. Moment of Greater Exaltation. This will then apply 2 of these Greater Exalt orbs onto the focus. So you see here, guaranteed prefix on the desecration. So the only 2 possible things that are gonna come out of this are going to be suffixes. And boom, we hit tier 2 cast speed, faster recharge rate. This is perfect. Faster cast speed is perfect. This league, you have to recharge your energy shield. So I'll just say this is a really good stat. We hit everything we wanted on the suffixes. So now what we need to do is go to Vegas and do a little bit of gamba and unveil our desecration. So we're essentially looking for one thing here. One thing and one thing only. We are looking for the fucking totems. Give us the goddamn totems. Oof, we didn't hit totem, and that's a little unfortunate. So what we can do now is you see this Omen of Abyssal Echoes. It allows you to re-roll the options once. You might think you have to use it at the start when you first like unveil it, but you can actually check the first round of unveils and then use it the second time. So we open back up before we unveil, we just activate it. And as you'll see, when we activate it and reveal, it'll consume it and give us an option to reroll. So boom, we go from 3 to 2. The options are the same, but now we can reroll it. So this way you can guarantee, like check to see if you need to use the echo before you actually use it. So we're gonna reroll now. Oof, we didn't hit the totems, okay? That is unfortunate, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Instead, I'm happy to take some Curse Magnitude. Honestly, I think for shields, you don't really want defensive, you want offense on your focuses. I think of the focus as kind of like an extension of your weapon. I would much rather have 10% Curse Magnitude than another like 30, 40 ES. But that is essentially how you craft this. It'll take you a few tries. It took me 3 tries in order to hit this +1 totem. But here's the thing, is that even as it is right now, we still profited. What you do is on the failed ones, like this, you just take the acceptable settle or whatever it is, and then you just sell it. This shit will easily sell for like 2 or 3 div. I've already sold 1 or 2 for that exact price. There's one last step here. So you might be thinking like, okay, like this this focus looks like shit. Sure, spell damage is really nice, but you need the plus skills on the focus, right? That's probably what you're thinking. I mean, I hope that's what you're thinking, because that is very, very true. Again, the new essences are fucking broken. Okay, they have essences of sorcery. This means you guarantee reroll a mod for +3 all spell skills on a wand or a focus. That means you can get literally above max roll all spell skills on your focus deterministically, 100% guaranteed. So you might be thinking, oh shit, well, like, what if it rerolls like one of my spell damage or my chaos damage? That would suck. But here's the thing, all spell skills is a suffix modifier. It's a suffix right here. If you have all 3 of your suffixes filled, this means that this perfect essence of sorcery, when it removes a random modifier, it will have to remove a random suffix modifier. So you don't actually even need to waste any of your currency on these dextral omens of crystallization. These cost over a div. By filling our suffixes first, we no longer need to waste like 100x. So this will guarantee 100% remove a suffix and replace it with +3 all spell skills. This is insanely powerful. The only downside here is that there is a chance, a 1 in 3 chance that we lose cast speed. If that happens, it happens. Your end goal is to get a focus like this. It might take you 3 or 4 attempts to get there. And even if you fail all 4 attempts, you can still sell these focuses for a profit. I made a profit trying to craft this focus, all right? I probably made like 4 or 5 div profit trying to get this focus. And that's including the cost of making this focus itself. Anyways, I'm so happy that POE2 has all of these new crafting materials. I'm getting ahead of myself. 3, 2, 1, go. And look, we kept the cast speed. We lost the field charge, that's okay. And we have the fire res. This is amazing. Even though we didn't get the totems, which would be Giga, this is still incredibly nice. I mean, look at this thing, man. It's 166 increased chaos damage for us. +3 spell skills, tier 2 cast speed, which is 26% cast speed, 36 fire res, and it also has 10% increased curse magnitude. It's fucking insane. So how do we price this? You might see, oh shit, 13 div, this is Giga. But the reality of the situation is, what you need to do is you need to do a weighted sum on this part. So what a weighted sum is it essentially says chaos damage, spell damage. We're going to weight both of these at 1. So that means 1 point of chaos damage is literally the same as 1 point of spell damage. And then for the weighted sum, we're going to put a minimum of 150. So this just means, assuming that these 2 values are the same, which for our purpose they are, just give me 150 total value of these 2. That could be 100 chaos damage and 50 spell damage, or 100 spell damage and 50 chaos damage, or 75 of each. Or in our case, it's 81, 85. Like, we actually reach up to 166, but at the same time, you want to kind of extend your search to things that are comparable to yours. Like 165, is that pretty much the same? 160? Yeah, like I think those are close enough. But like, you want to get an understanding of the wide range of how it's going to be. Same thing with cast speed. I'll probably lower this to like even like 20, and then I'll get rid of the res. So we're essentially excluding 2 stats. We're excluding the curse magnitude because it's a nice to have, but it's not crucial. Fire res, again, nice to have, but not crucial. But spell skills being 3, crucial. Cast speed being tier 2 or very high, also crucial. Chaos/spell damage very high, also crucial. So that's why we're including these 4 stats when we're trying to price check what we're doing. And we can get rid of this energy heal here. Again, do we care if it's 40 or do we care if it's 30? No, we really don't. So then once we do that, it kind of widens the pool. So you're like, okay, it's actually not worth like 30 div, right? Maybe it's worth a little bit more than this. So usually when you do a weight sum, it'll show you what the sum is. So this is 155, ours is 166. This has 157, ours has 166. This is 168. Again, ours is 166. But what this allows you to do now is you can think like, if you were the buyer, which one are you going to buy? Are you going to buy mine that has the same fire res, pretty much the same cast speed, but instead of mana, it has curse magnitude? Or would you want mana, right? That's kind of how you have to think of these things. And I would say in my specific case, probably prefer mine. Like, I would much rather have curse magnitude than 140 mana. But at the same time, I'm playing Demon Form Witch. I have Infernal Flame, right? I don't use mana. I have literally infinite mana. So Lich builds, I'm not sure how mana hungry you are. Maybe this is better. And if it is better, I would just price it a little bit lower. So instead of being 4 div, I'd just be like, all right, fuck it, 3 div. And then you look at the 3 div ones. Is mine better than this? I would say, yeah. I would say mine is better than this. It has a good amount more. So I would just price it at the same. So this one, I'm just going to say, you did a good job, buddy. You tried your best, but you're only worth 3 div. No matter how you shake it, this entire craft costs us 2 div or less to create. So worst case scenario, we break even. If things don't really go our way. If things go our way, the focus looks like that. So my point is that it's going to take you a couple tries, but it's really easy to get there. And keep in mind, this is if you're paying 1 div for the base. If you are farming your own bases, which is just as simple as adding some focuses into your filter, eye level 70 or higher, then the base is pretty much free. It's going to take you like 5 sets or maybe 10 sets of perfect transmutes and perfect augs in order to hit a base that's even better than this, in which case it's going to be worth even more. So if you're doing it my way, which is the hideout warrior, you go buy the thing on trade and do it the fastest, you're going to profit like 1 div per focus on average, I would say, until you hit the big one, which is going to be like, I've got no clue how to even price this shit. Few people actually have it. But if you're going to find the bases yourself, which is incredibly easy to do, you're going to be making way more. It's going to be 1 div less to do, and it's going to be like probably 1 div more profit. And I hope I didn't go on too long. Let me know if I did in the comments. I'm not sure if you guys want me to do more detail or less detailed for these kind of crafts. This in a nutshell is how I self-crafted almost 100% deterministically this cultist focus. Anyways, that's all guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you had any questions. Let me know if you want me to do like another video on a different item. I would be happy to go into whatever you want. It doesn't just have to be ED Contagion. That's just what I'm playing right now, but I can easily figure out how to craft any item that you want me to. I hope to see you guys again soon. Yeah.